Imagine getting up every day full of energy as if you were in your 20s again. What would that be like? What would it be worth to you? What is your health worth to you? Think about it. Your health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. And yet, too many of us are taking it for granted until something goes wrong. And no one wakes up hoping to be diagnosed with a disease or chronic illness. And yet, we've never been taught how to be proactive in our health through our school or public health. As a registered health coach and integrative health practitioner, I believe it's time this information is made available to everyone. Combining new knowledge around your health and the ability to do my functional medicine lab tests in the comfort of your own home will allow you to optimize your health for today and all your tomorrows. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Wait for Your Wake-Up Call podcast. I am Melissa Deely and I am your host. And today I want to share with you a beautiful testimonial that I have just received from a student that has come through our Amplify Impact Academy training programs. And she says, if you are seeking a transformative program to master hypnosis, look no further than Melissa and Billy's NLP Plus practitioner training. Their comprehensive approach goes beyond traditional teaching methods, providing a rich foundation in both theory and practical application. The structured curriculum combined with their expert guidance creates an environment where learning feels natural and intuitive. As a physician with extensive experience in holistic healthcare, I was particularly impressed by their ability to bridge clinical knowledge with mind-body techniques. The skills I gained have proven invaluable in my practice, offering new pathways to support patient healing. Melissa and Billy's dedication to excellence and student success makes this program truly exceptional. Whether you're a healthcare professional or someone passionate about helping others, this training will exceed your expectations and equip you with powerful tools for transformation. Dr. Kim Gordon, MD, CEO and founder of BHETC, Maryland. And I started with that particular testimonial today because the training that we teach has so much to do with mindset and the power of our mind, the power of our thoughts. And today's episode, I want to share with you the power of your mind, the placebo effect, which you've likely heard of, the nocebo effect, which you may not have heard of, and owning your own healing story. We'll talk about how both of these effects work and why being discerning about the information you accept as truth is crucial, and how to take control of your own healing rather than inheriting someone else's story. So let's start off first with the placebo effect and the mind's healing power. The placebo effect is one of the most fascinating phenomena in medicine and psychology. It's the idea that when you believe a treatment will work, even if it's just a sugar pill or a saline injection, your body responds as if it's real. Studies have shown that patients given a placebo often experience real improvements in pain or depression and even symptoms of chronic illness. In some cases, the brain releases endorphins, dopamine, and other healing chemicals, mimicking the effects of actual medication. There was a study done by Dr. Irving Kirsch, who was a researcher at Harvard Medical School, and he conducted a meta-analysis, which is a study combining data from multiple clinical trials of antidepressant drug trials that were submitted to the FDA. And his research found that about 75% of the improvements seen in patients taking antidepressants could also be attributed to the placebo effect, i.e., because they believed they were taking a drug that would help their depression improved. The difference between the actual drug and placebo was small and often clinically insignificant, especially in mild to moderate depression cases. Patients who believed they were taking an antidepressant showed real symptom relief, even if they were just taking a sugar pill. The study example was from 2008 and published in the Journal of American Medical Association. It examined clinical trials of Prozac, Effexor, and Paxil, and found that the placebo groups improved nearly as much as the drug groups, particularly in cases of mild to moderate depression. For severe depression, antidepressants did show a more significant effect. However, for the mild cases, the placebo response was almost the same. And so, understanding this may have you approach depression differently. And perhaps going to the drug isn't the first place you start. We can look at the health of our gut, because it's in our gut where serotonin, our feel-good neurotransmitter, and dopamine, our motivation neurotransmitter, are produced. And if our gut isn't healthy, then perhaps our body isn't producing enough serotonin and dopamine for us to feel motivated and happy in life. And when we understand that it's the placebo effect that is getting equal results to a chemical drug, which has long-term side effects, perhaps we can look at different solutions. And why does this work? The key here is literally the belief and the expectation. When the mind is expecting healing, the body follows suit. This is why hope and optimism and trust in the healing process can be just as important as the physical interventions themselves. There have also been placebo surgeries where patients who believed they had received a surgery reported the same improvements as those who actually had the surgery. There was a landmark investigation led by Dr. Bruce Moseley, which was published in 2002. And it evaluated the efficacy of arthroscopic surgery for osteoarthritis of the knee. And this randomized placebo-controlled trial involved 180 patients who were assigned to one of three groups. The first group was an arthroscopic debridement group. These patients underwent arthroscopic surgery to remove damaged cartilage or bone. The second group, the arthroscopic lavage group, in these patients received a procedure where the knee joint was flushed with fluid to remove the debris. And the third group was the placebo group. They received incisions to mimic the surgery. However, they did not undergo any actual surgical intervention. There were 60 patients in each group, and over a follow-up period of 2 years, the study assessed outcomes related to pain and knee function. And remarkably, the results indicated no significant differences among the three groups. Patients in the placebo group reported improvements in pain and function comparable to those who underwent actual surgical procedures. This finding suggests that the perceived benefits of the surgery may be largely attributed to the placebo effect rather than the surgical intervention itself. And this study has had a profound impact on the medical community's understanding of the placebo effect in surgical procedures and has led to increased scrutiny regarding the necessity and the efficacy of certain surgical interventions for knee osteoarthritis. And I share with you just so you can understand the power of our mind when it comes to our healing journey. If we believe the sugar pill we are taking is an intervention that is going to have us feel better or heal, or we believe the surgery we are undergoing is going to resolve the problem that we're experiencing, and then it happens, you can see the power of our mind and our belief. Now, the flip side of that is the nocebo effect. This is when negative beliefs make us sick. So if you believe something will harm you, it often does. And in this case, if a doctor tells a patient they have 6 months to live as part of their diagnosis, and that patient accepts that as the truth, their body may start shutting down accordingly, even if there was a chance of recovery. Because the program, the story they're running in their mind is, I only have 6 months to live, cancel, cancel, cancel. And our mind is so powerful, our mind brings that into our reality. And there is research evidence around this as well. In one study, patients were told they might experience side effects from a medication, and they developed symptoms versus the group with the sugar pill. They also developed side effects simply because they were told that they might, and yet they were only given a sugar pill. Our unconscious mind is incredibly powerful, and it doesn't distinguish between real danger and perceived danger. If we accept negative beliefs about our health without questioning them, they can manifest physically. How often does this happen when a woman is told that she will get breast cancer because her mother had it, her sister had it, etc., etc., etc.? We know, due to epigenetics, that only 5 to 10% of dis-ease is genetic. The other 90 to 95% is entirely impacted by the environment. The nutrition that you're getting, your toxic load, your stress levels, your exercise, how much sunshine you're getting, how much time outdoors, etc., etc. And yet, for many years, there was a belief that breast cancer was genetic, and women were being told over and over again, take prevention, have a mastectomy. Your mother had it, your sister had it, just avoid it, have a mastectomy. And that is entirely wrong. What we should be doing instead is teaching those women how to shift their lifestyle factors in order to minimize their risk. Rather than telling them they will get breast cancer, cancel, 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 and having that belief, that story they start running in their head, the fear that comes with that, bring it into their reality. And that's what's been happening in many, many cases. And it doesn't have to be that way when we understand this, and we can choose a different way. So we must be discerning about the information we accept. And in today's world, we're constantly bombarded with health information. Some of it's helpful and some of it's harmful. It's critical to be mindful of the beliefs we adopt, especially when it comes to healing. So with doctors and diagnoses, medical professionals provide valuable insights, absolutely, and they are human too. If you receive a diagnosis, ask yourself, is this the final word? Is there room for improvement? Where can I get a second opinion? What other paths to healing are there? And be open and be curious. Other people's stories you need to be cautious of as well. Just because someone else had a tough healing journey, it doesn't mean your experience will be the same. Find people that had an easy healing journey. Look at the difference. What was different about them? It was probably their mindset and their belief in their ability to heal, and choose to take on that story, the empowering story that's going to serve you, as opposed to the fearful story. So be very cautious about taking on other people's fears and limitations as your own. And you also need to, of course, be careful of media and social influence. The constant exposure to fear-based health narratives, whether through the news, social media, or even well-meaning friends, can program your unconscious mind to expect the worst. Fear tanks our immune system at a time when we need it the most. Choose to create your own story and stay out of fear in your healing journey. I realize that is easier said than done. However, it can be done. I know because I've done it myself just last year in my own cancer diagnosis of a metastatic malignant melanoma. Go back to episode 171 where I share that story. I used all my tools, including timeline therapy, to release my limiting decisions, including fear and doubt, so that I could move forward in confidence and create my own healing story. Your healing journey is yours. It is up to you to filter out what doesn't serve you and focus on empowering beliefs. So, how do you create your own healing story? Well, instead of passively accepting what others say about your health, take control of your narrative. Be aware of the stories you tell yourself. Are you reinforcing a belief that healing is possible, or are you stuck in a cycle of fear and limitation? Choose empowering language. Words have power. Instead of saying, I'm sick, try, I'm healing. There's the Emile Coué mantra, an auto-suggestion that he developed that says, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Take that on, recite it, believe in it in your healing journey. And avoid owning your diagnosis and taking it on as part of you, using phrases such as, I have cancer, cancel, cancel, cancel. Instead, use phrases such as, I am on a healing journey. Because let's face it, we all are. Surround yourself with positive influence. Spend time with people who uplift you and consume content that reinforces healing and possibility. So often the people around us will offer advice. However, is it the advice you want to hear? If all they know about cancer is that it causes death and you have to do chemo and radiation, they are not informed. They are simply programmed to believe what Big Pharma wants them to believe because that's how they make money. Politely choose to remove yourself from their company and find a network of people who can support your choices. If you need help finding that network, reach out. I'm certainly happy to connect you. And visualize the outcome you want. Athletes use visualization to enhance performance, and you can do the same for healing. I was actually taught this as a teenager by my swim coach to visualize myself swimming up and down the pool. And I did that then, and I use it now. Picture yourself healthy, vibrant, and thriving. Your unconscious mind is the home of your imagination, and it doesn't actually know the difference between what it imagines and reality. As an example, I want you to close your eyes for a minute, as long as you aren't driving, and it is safe to close your eyes, that is. Imagine it's a really hot summer day, and you're thirsty. You go into your kitchen, and you open up your fridge, and you feel the cold air come out of the fridge onto your body, and you see a large, juicy lemon sitting on the shelf, and you reach for it. And you feel how cool it is to touch. And you feel the little dimples in the skin and how refreshing it is to hold that in your hand. And you close the fridge and you take the lemon to your counter and you get out your knife and your cutting board and you slice that lemon in half. And it's so juicy. You feel the liquid squirt onto your fingers and you smell that lovely lemony scent. And you take one half and you slice it in half again. So now you have a wedge. And you pick up that wedge and you bring it to your mouth and you take a bite out of it and enjoy the cool liquid in your mouth. It's so refreshing. Now, open your eyes again. How was that experience? Did you have saliva start flowing in your mouth? You did, didn't you? Because even though you didn't really have a bite of lemon, your imagination is so powerful that your body responded. The body is simply a robot of your mind. Your mind can create biochemical reactions in your body. And this happens from simply creating saliva flow to healing your body. Visualize what you want and you can achieve it. You cannot waver though. You have to maintain the focus on what you want and be 100% committed to it. You also want to seek out practitioners who align with your beliefs. Work with healthcare professionals who encourage optimism and empowerment rather than the fear-based narratives. No discredit to our doctors. They all got into the profession to help their patients. However, medical schools are not yet teaching the power of the unconscious mind. Instead, they are trained to be realistic with patients and not give false hope. However, when it comes to diagnosis and life expectancy, I take false hope anytime. And the realistic part can be giving helpful actions such as change your diet, focus on your mindset, surround yourself with supportive people. When we have hope, what is false hope anyway, right? When we have hope, it supports us in taking action towards our goal of regaining our health. We will be able to create our own healing story. And then it is your responsibility to share that with as many people as possible, so more people can understand how harmful the nocebo effect is and choose their own healing story. That is why I am sharing this podcast with you today, along with my story in episode 171. In fact, it is the impetus behind the Don't Wait for Your Wake Up Call podcast. I bring on guests who have healed themselves with the express purpose of giving you hope and letting you know that it is possible. That is all it takes. If someone else has healed themselves, then you know you can too. Remember, we used to think we couldn't run a mile in under 5 minutes until one person did it. And then in a very short amount of time, another 30 plus people did too, as now they knew it was possible. There are many stories throughout my 209 episodes of this show of people who were told they wouldn't walk again, and they do. Episodes 161 and 196 are examples. To people who have been told they wouldn't live, episodes 153 and 166 and more. To practitioners and healers that can shift your understanding of the power of our body to heal and your mindset around your healing journey. Dr. James Chestnut in episode 137, Dr. John DeMartini, episode 143, Dr. Bruce Lipton, episode 184, and many more. If you need help with releasing your doubts and fears and support in creating your own story, please reach out. I offer breakthrough programs for clients one-to-one, and through our Amplify Impact Academy, we teach the tools to shift your filters and enjoy empowering beliefs and have these skills for life. I use these skills in my own healing journey, and I'm so grateful that I've had them because it allowed me to choose my own path to healing and not follow exactly what the surgeon was telling me I needed to do. And I was back skiing a week after my surgery, and both surgeons were shocked at how well my body healed because I wasn't full of toxins. So I just want you to know that the mind is not separate from the body. It is a key player in your healing journey. And whether you experience the placebo effect or the nocebo effect often depends on what you believe to be true. So be discerning. Choose your beliefs wisely. And most importantly, write your own healing story, one where you are in the driver's seat of your health and well-being. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and leave a review. It helps more people discover the power of the mind-body connection. And thank you for tuning in each and every week, caring enough about your health to be here to learn. And until next time, take care and be well. I am pleased to share with you a new training called Karma Code Timeline Therapy Practitioner Certification. This training is a powerful 3-day live on Zoom session teaching you how to help others in clearing all of their stuffed down emotion of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame, without them having to talk about any of the situations that ever caused the root of that anger, and release it from the cells in their body and have them feeling light. And also to release all of the BS stories running around in our head of being unlovable, unworthy, not good enough, powerless, etc., etc. And get rid of all of that chatter and allow them to have peace and quiet in their head. This training is transformational for your clients and for you, because during the training, you get to experience it both as a practitioner and a client and release all of that garbage for yourself and clear out your emotional body, your mental body, and keep them clear so that all of that stuffed down emotion isn't causing dis-ease later in your life. Check out the show notes for the link. Our first training is happening in 2026.